It's just Bruce, he don't bite. Hello.
So tonight is Saturday, October 28th. And I was supposed to go out tonight with a bunch of my friends to a Halloween party and get dressed up and have some fun. They all canceled because they all insisted that I went out last night, Friday night, the 27th, to another Halloween party, which I had a blast at. But apparently I outdrank them all, and they're all too tired to go out tonight, which is why I have the weird beard going on right now. I had to shave, and I just threw together a half-ass costume. Here it is. That's me as Captain Spaulding, which isn't really my real costume this year. And yeah, I'm only gonna do this once. Shaved it all off for this costume. Captain Spaulding, I do that every once in a while, year to year. I just love House of a Thousand Corpses, and it's a great costume. It's a lot of fun to do. But yeah, that was me. That was me last night. And I had a blast, as you can tell. There was a lot of people there. A lot of my friends were there. And then we were supposed to go to another place tonight, but every single one of them was just too tired and too worn out to go tonight. I still wanted to go, but I'm not going to go like by myself like a doofus. So here I am at home, going to do a video for you. Tonight we're going to compare two types of resin, because, you know, I'm always looking for the cheapest, most economical way to do this hobby. And resin's expensive. Aluminite is my go-to for the most part. It is quite expensive, so I use the Casting Craft Fast Craft a lot. I have no problems with it. And we're going to compare tonight we're going to compare the Casting Craft Fast Cast to this one, and I'll explain further as we go what it is. It's Let's Resin polyurethane resin. It's all white resin. We're using silicone molds tonight, not the reusable molding. So, hey, sit back, relax, and leave a comment and subscribe and all that happy horse shit. I just want to do a quick interjection here about the atmosphere and environment down here. Right now in this room, it is 74 degrees, and that matters a lot whenever you're working with resin. If you do it in a colder temperature, no matter what you're using, it's going to take a little longer to dry. 74, they recommend 77 degrees Fahrenheit, of course, and it's a little bit humid outside today, which I have noticed when it's humid outside, sometimes you get a little bit air bubbles. It just seems like a little harder to do on a humid day, but it's been raining all day, so just want to inject that. That's my control environment that I try to use. Anyway, continuing. Now, what I'm going to make today is a custom part for an original 1978 R2-D2. That's mine from my collection. You think of R2-D2, you know, and I do. This is what I think of when we were little kids. This is what we got. But it was always missing that third leg. Now, here's a newer one, and it's got the third leg that came with it. I always thought of R2-D2 with the third leg, and that's what we're going to do. We're making a custom third leg that we never got as kids for this figure. So the first resin we're going to try is the Fast Cast that I have used plenty of times, and it's been a good old standby for me. It's cheaper than aluminite, and I think it works just fine. So that's what we're going to try first. I got my molds here. Boom. It's a couple pieces to the product. Boom. And I got another one to dump extra in. So let's get started on that. Let's mix our molds together. It's a 1:1 ratio. I've gone ahead and mixed the resin up. I figure if you want to learn how to mix resin, you can watch one of my other videos. But like I said, this is the Fast Cast. It's ready to go. And this piece that I have designed is actually in two parts. So, and these are the molds, which once again, if you want to know how to make a mold, go ahead and check out the rest of my channel. I'm going to fill this guy up. And you got to bounce your molds to get the air bubbles out. I'll let that settle for a moment. This is a very easy mold to make. And here's part 2 of it. And because I have an extra mold here of the same part 2, I'm going to go and fill that up too. Now, once again, I have extra resin, always do. So I always keep another mold sitting nearby that I can just put my extra resin in. And This takes a little bit to dry. We'll leave that sit and I'll be back as soon as it cures. I'm giving it about, well, I'll tell you whenever I get back. Well, it's been 10 minutes, and you probably saw my little finger going through there and a fast forward, just a little touchy to tap it and see what's done. This piece here is definitely done. It's nice and hard because, you know, the more massive the figure or piece, the quicker it's going to cure with the white resin. Like I said, we're using a fast cast today. I was looking through the directions, and I thought it said 10 minutes for fast cast, but it really doesn't. It just says when it's cured, it's cured. So it didn't actually advertise 10 minutes. So like I said, it's been 10 minutes. So I'm going to go ahead and demold the thicker pieces. This is a thick piece. I'm going to pop this guy out. Like I said, this is a two-part item I'm working on. This guy's still a little soft. In fact, it doesn't want to come out yet. Yeah, it doesn't want to come out at all. Might have to go off camera to get this out. All right. We are going to wait another 5 minutes. It's not ready yet. Okay, it's been another 5 minutes, total of 15. I'm going to see if I can get this out now. My hands are really bothering me today. Let's cheat and use the pliers. I don't think it's really cured enough, but I always rush myself. Yeah, everybody that knows what they're doing is cringing right now because of what I just did. It's going to be fine. This piece comes off anyway. That was my reservoir, so I didn't have a problem yanking on it. It's still a little soft. That's part one. This piece I'm not going to take out because that's my reservoir for extra resin, and I still want to fill it up. So what I'm going to do in the next part is I'm going to dump some more of the new resin in there and see if it bonds to it. But yeah, I rushed this a little bit. I always rush for these movies or for these videos. My hands are actually giving me trouble lately for my arthritis. This one came out just fine. Still just a tad bit soft. At 15 minutes, it's a little bit soft, but it'll be fine. I actually have to trim that anyway. This is the main piece that I really want to make sure it's good. And take this. This is just junk, so we'll throw that away. Go ahead and take this off. Pull my piece out. All right, this is actually coming out okay. And that's the second part. So a little bit soft, but it's working. It's working. Like I said, normally you don't have to rush things. I just have a tendency of rushing stuff. So, but that's going to be the piece that I want to make. So we're good for now. I'm going to reset, and we're going to try the other resin. This is the second brand we're going to try. It's new to me. My wife actually found it, and it's a lot cheaper than the Fast Cast. So I'm wondering if it's going to be as good because, I mean, let's face it, aluminite is the best. Fast Cast is a little bit cheaper. My Fast Cast is 16-ounce bottles, two 16-ounce bottles come in a kit. This one you get two 30-ounce bottles, part A and B. It's just a little bit more expensive than the Fast Cast, but it's still cheaper in the long run. So we're going to give this a try and see if it works. It's called White Resin is the brand name, and polyurethane resin. It's a white resin, and it's a 1-to-1 ratio, and it says 10-minute fast curing time. And you got a working time of 2 minutes. It says low odor, low viscosity, and it's white when it dries. I was also reading the safety data sheets on that, and it says that you always need to have good ventilation, and you should always wear gloves. I know I'm guilty of not wearing gloves a lot, but you really should. Made a video the other day, and I ended up giving myself a little skin rash because I wasn't wearing gloves. So I'm going to wear gloves today. Let's get this mixed and pour the same molds and see what we come up with. Okay, I've already poured out my part A and my part B, and the first thing I noticed is both of them are a lot thinner consistency than the Fast Cast. So, like I said, equal parts into the mixing bin. And we're going to mix it. It says I have 1 to 2 minutes before I need to pour, which is about the same as Fast Cast. So I'm going to mix that up. Honestly, this quick, I'm 10 seconds into it, and I can feel the cup getting warm already. So this might be a little faster. Hopefully it works. So I'm testing to see if it works on these pieces, and also I'm going to see if it bonds to other resin for other projects in case you use a reservoir like I do. Okay, that should be good. I hope. 2 minutes thing got me wondering, because is it going to turn to gum in 2 minutes, or is it going to start curing, or what? So we're going to fill the molds same way. Since these are just cylinders, I don't really have to worry about bouncing them. But this guy needs bounced, because if I don't, it doesn't get in all the little nooks and crannies. Work the air out of it. You see, it gave me a little room for some more resin. Not to mention all the stuff I just splashed all over the place. And top that off. And I do have a lot of extra resin. I'm going to go ahead and fill this one up. And I unfortunately don't have another mold sitting close to me that I can fill. Oh, there's one. All right, so I'm going to bring this one up to the top. This is going to be our test to see if it'll bond with the other resin to finish I call these, I don't know, I don't really have I call them reservoirs. Just for extra resin, I just throw them in another mold next to me. All right, I got this one here. It's a little piece here. I don't like wasting resin, so I'm just going to go ahead and dump it in there. I still have a little bit left. Nothing to do with that. All right, it says 10 minutes. 10 minutes starts now. I'm pausing to fast forward here at 7 minutes because I want to show you something. I see it showing up on camera too. Right here, there's a lot of air bubbles coming up. And I didn't get that with the fast cast. This one seems to be okay. This one's got some air bubbles on the top. This one seems to be okay. And this one has air bubbles on the top. Now, it honestly isn't really going to matter in any of these pieces because this is all just a reservoir. I can sand that down. But let's see what happens with the rest of it. It's got another 3 minutes to go before I test it. And that's 10 minutes. Another thing, I do every once in a while, if I have extra resin that I really honestly can't use, I'll just set the cup down here and I can look and it'll show me whenever it's done. And this is pretty hard. It's still very warm. It's warmer than the fast cast, but it's done. And I'm gonna go in the garbage now. This guy here, same thing, a little tappy tap. It's done. And like I said before, the bigger the piece, the faster it's gonna cure. So, and this mold is actually very warm, like warmer than I'm used to. So I'm just gonna pop this out because I'm curious if that resin stuck to the previous resin I put in there, and if it's something that would work if I ever would have to. Well, like I just did with the reservoirs, with the extra resin. So we're going to take that out. And I'm looking for a line to see if I can tell the difference between the two resins. The new resin was on top. I don't see a line. It looks like it all blended in. Oh, there's a line right there. Still not a big deal. I'm going to paint this. But it looks like it adhered okay. And I am looking at these air bubbles. Very teeny tiny air bubbles. I don't know if they're showing up or not. There. Get the reflection on it, you can see them. That could be a problem for some things I make. For this particular item, it's not a problem because it's going to sit like this. So, but that is something to look at because the fast cast did not do that. I always had a nice smooth finish on the back. So let's take this extra piece out just to get it. All right, that was a little brittle to be honest with you. Pop this guy out. Like I said, my hands are bothering me today, and I know I shouldn't use the pliers, but I fall to it. So here's this piece. It's a little droid thing for Star Wars. The mold's not perfect. That's not the resin's fault right here. Right here. This here is not the resin's fault. That's just the way the mold is. I usually trim that out. But I'm looking at the surfaces here. I don't know if you can see it shining. Trying to see if I have any. It's not showing up on camera. But I want to see if any of those bubbles are on these edges, the ones it shows. And it actually looks okay. It filled in the little tiny parts here. The detail on it picked it up pretty good. All right, that piece is okay. But that's not what we're working on. That was an extra one. Let's do this guy here. Peeling it off the top here, the extra part. And that's about the same as it was in the last one. But the last one took 15 minutes to get to this point. We only did 10 for this guy. So let's just demold it and see what we got. Do. Oh, there it is. It looks all right. It's not as soft. It's definitely not as soft as the other one that I took out. The details there. That's a right here. If you're seeing this on camera, this is that's a mold problem, which I'll trim that with a Dremel tool. I have to do it when I do it the other way too. This is what it's supposed to look like, and this is what this side looks like. I'll cut that out. That has nothing to do with the resin. I mean, the resin actually picked that up though, and the detail here. There's not a lot of detail on this piece, but okay. 10 minutes, it's not super soft. Here's the one I had a problem getting out, the very first one, after 10-15 minutes last time. Let's see if we can get that out a little easier. Oh, look at that. It popped right out, and it didn't get all deformed. This is hard. This is definitely harder than it was in the other casting compound resin. It looks good. That cross there, if you can see it on the top, it's not showing up on camera. There's a plus sign in there. It came out like real clear. Okay, next is this one. Like I said, this one was soft too last time. Oh, this is hard. This, I mean, as in it's not soft. This is extra overfill. I'm not worried about that. I'm worried about nice smooth sides, detail, little dot in the middle there. Hey, after 10 minutes, this cured just fine. This cured just fine. Let me trim these up and show you what we finally got at the end and compare both of them. Well, I got them all cleaned up and trimmed and assembled. And this is what I came up with. This side is the Cast and Craft Fast Cast. This side is the Let's Resin polyurethane resin. I'm very happy with both of them. They both work. What I've taken from making this is it's picking up the details nice. This isn't a very detailed piece. I just wanted to see pretty much just the drying time. Both pieces come out pretty good. It's kind of hard to tell them apart. I have nothing bad to say about either one of these, except this one was a lot quicker hardening than this guy. And this guy only took 15 minutes, which isn't a big deal. In the same environment and everything. I would use either one, but I'm sorry, this one got me on the price. If that's the price for this one, and I'll leave a link in the description. If that's the price for this one, and that's a normal price, I'm probably going to keep buying this. I'll still use this when I have to. And of course, I'll use aluminite anytime I can get a good price on it. But this is cheaper, and it's faster, and it speeds what you're looking for. If you're able to work that fast, this one come out just as good as this one. So that's the comparison of the procedure through it. Like I said, I am happy with the new stuff. It's cheaper. It's definitely cheaper, and it dries quicker. But you also have to look, if you're going to use this product, you have to look, are you quick enough to use it? I was really worried about air bubbles. I didn't get any air bubbles, except at the bottom, like I showed you. But it didn't really seem to hurt the pieces I was working on. I didn't really do a complicated piece. I would imagine a complicated piece would be a little more nerve-wracking. But if it works, it works, and it's a hell of a lot cheaper. So, it's called Let's Resin polyurethane resin. And let me show you a final product of what I made, and you guys can judge for yourself after that. Like I said, this is the vintage R2D2 from 78. I also threw the sensor scope version in the next version that they did. I forgot, the years evading me, but it's from Empire Strikes Back. The third leg fits both of them. Either one of them come out good. The only difference that I really noticed in making it was one took longer than the other. The Castcraft Fast Craft took longer than the Let's Resin. The Let's Resin, it was right there at 10 minutes. And, so they're both good. So, it's the drying time. If you have to make a lot of things, And it's cheaper if you're quick enough. Leave your comments down there and subscribe, like, all that stuff. And I got something else I'm working on. I'm going to review some new molding compound that I got that's also a little bit cheaper. In the process of doing that, I'm trying to shoot 2 videos at the same time. So we shall see how that one comes out. That'll be the next video. And hey, thanks for stopping by and happy Halloween. I will talk to you later. Bye.
It's just Bruce, he don't bite. Hello.